Thank you for tuning in to Teacher Mommy Teacher. Today we'll be working on adding fractions with like denominators, and we'll be working on changing improper fractions to mixed numbers. Please like, subscribe, and share. When adding like denominators, add the numerator and keep the denominator the same. Let's recap. Numerators are the numbers on top of the fraction bar, and denominators are the numbers below the fraction bar. Let's look at our equation. 2/8 plus 4/8 equals 6/8. Our numerators are 2 plus 4 equals 6. And then we have our denominators, 8 plus 8 equals 8. Now remember, when you're adding like denominators, you keep the denominator the same. That is why we have 8 plus 8 equals 8 instead of 16. Okay, for our visual learners, when adding like denominators, add the numerator and keep the denominator the same. So below we have a fraction bar. If you look at the fraction bar, our denominators are 8s all the way across. And then our numerators are 1 all the way across. And our equation that we had to solve is 2/8 plus 4/8. So now we're trying to find out what is 2/8 plus 4/8. So if we look at what is shaded red on our fraction bar, that is 2/8. And then what is shaded green is 4/8. So if we add those two together, it's going to total 6/8. So once again, when adding like denominators, keep the denominator the same. Here is another problem. When adding like denominators, add the numerator and keep the denominator the same. So our equation is 5/8 plus 5/8 equals 10/8. Our numerators that we added together are 5 plus 5, which gave us the 10. Our denominators are 8 plus 8, which gave us 8. Remember, keep the denominators the same. But now, let's look at the blue circle. We have 10/8. 10/8 is an improper fraction. If you add a fraction together and you get an improper fraction, you need to change the improper fraction to a mixed number. An improper fraction is when your numerator is larger than your denominator. When changing an improper fraction to a mixed number, you must divide the denominator into the numerator. Let's look below. We have our improper fraction, which is 10/8. Now we're going to divide this to find out what the mixed number is going to be. So we're going to divide our denominator, which is 8, into our numerator, which is 10. So we need to see how many times 8 can go into 10. 8 can go into 10 one time. So now we do the steps for multiplication. 8 times 1 is 8. Then we take 8 away from 10, which gives us 2. So now it is time to change it into a mixed number. Remember, the quotient is the whole number. So our quotient is 1, so that becomes our whole number. The denominator stays the same. Our denominator is 8, so it stays 8. The remainder is the numerator. 2 is the remainder, so it becomes the new numerator. So our mixed number is 1 and 2/8. For our visual learners, when changing an improper fraction to a mixed number, you must divide the denominator into the numerator. So below we have a fraction bar that is separated into 8s. The green section on the fraction bar represents 8/8, which equals 1. The yellow part on the fraction bar, it is the remainder, what is left over, 2/8. So remember, our equation that we're trying to solve is 5/8 plus 5/8 equals. So if we look at the total fraction bar, how many 8s do we have all together? there are 10/8 on this fraction bar. But now remember, 10/8 is an improper fraction, so we have to go through the steps of division. How many times can 8 go into 10? Only one time. That gives us our 1 whole. Then we subtract 8 from 10, which gives us 2, which is our yellow section, the 2 remainder parts. So now we're going to change it and make it into a mixed number, which is 1 2/8. Our 1 is our whole, showing how many times 8 can go into 10. And then our 2/8 is the remainder. So the mixed number is 1 2/8. Okay, so let's recap. When adding like denominators, add the numerator and keep the denominator the same. Change improper fractions to mixed numbers. So below, our equation is 5/8 plus 5/8 equals 10/8, which is in the blue circle, which is also an improper fraction. So now we're changing 10/8 to a mixed number, which equals 1 2/8. Now we're going to work on adding mixed numbers. When adding mixed numbers, add the fraction, then add the whole numbers. So let's look below. We have an equation, 2 5/8 plus 2 5/8. So we're going to add our numerators first. 5 plus 5 equals 10. And then the denominators stay the same. So that's 8. So we have 10/8. Once again, 10/8 is an improper fraction. So now we need to change our improper fraction to a mixed number. So let's look in the blue box. We have 10/8 equal 1 2/8. Remember, we solved that mixed number problem previously. So now we have our mixed number, which is 1 2/8. So now we're going to add our 1 2/8 to our whole numbers that was in the beginning. So in the beginning, we had 2 5/8 plus 2 5/8. So we're looking at the two whole numbers. 2 plus 2 equals 4. That is where we got our 4 from in the last box. So now we're going to solve the problem. 4 plus 1 2/8 equals 5 2/8. Thank you for tuning in to Teacher Mommy, Mommy Teacher. We hope you enjoyed this segment. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And also visit our website at www.teachermommy.net.